Hello and welcome to this India Today special. I'm Akshita Nandagopal. Yes, it's been nearly 2 days since the Indian team, since our Men in Blue won the T20 World Cup. But I know you're wondering when they're returning back for a grand homecoming, a grand welcome. Unfortunately, it's going to take a bit of time for them to return from Barbados. The reason is a hurricane headed their way. When is the team likely to return? How bad is the situation really? We tell you in our report first. Nikhil Naz, my colleague, is currently in the same island as the Indian team. So he tells you what to expect. When will the Men in Blue be coming back home?
Okay, very strong winds we are experiencing here in Barbados. Right now I'm at the southern tip of the island. It is 7 a.m. and this is precisely where Hurricane Beryl is going past the island. It was supposed to make landfall here as was predicted earlier, but that's not quite been the case. It's actually now going past Barbados right now as I speak. So it's not really coming onto the island as it was expected because it's a very high intensity hurricane. It is category 4, which is just one level below the most dangerous, which is category 5. So there was a national emergency sort of it being declared here. Everyone was asked to stay indoors throughout the night as per me. Right now I'm just below my hotel on this beach that I come daily. This is actually a very long beach, but you can see how aggressive the ocean is at the moment, and the water level has raised about a few inches and the water is coming about 20 meters. So the wind is very strong that you can experience, as well as the ocean, as you can see behind me, is also not easy for me to stand right now. I have to take support of this wooden plank here, otherwise you could just be blown away with the intensity of the wind that we are just seeing. Just look at how scary the ocean looks at the moment. The waves are much higher than you see usually. As we speak, Hurricane Beryl is going past from this area. Just to let you know, we are in southwest of the island. The wind and the rain is, you can feel a bit of a drizzle. The wind and the rain is going to be even worse in the southeast of the island. But more importantly, we're just about 5 minutes away from where the Indian team hotel is. The Indian team has also been asked to stay inside their hotel rooms and ensure that there is no mishap. There are of course warnings there as well. There has been instructions given by the local government here, local authorities here, and that is exactly what the team has to follow. The protocol at the moment is the Indian team were due to fly this morning, but of course the airport now has been shut for more than 14 hours. It's been 14 hours as a precautionary measure. The hotel here in Barbados has been shut, and we're expecting it to be like that for another 20 odd hours. While in a couple of hours Beryl will go past Barbados. You can see this water actually coming all the way to the road. This actually is, in terms of the width, is usually on a normal day about 10-15 meter long beach. That's all gone. The water has come till almost the main road, which is right next to the beach. As I mentioned, the water level has increased. Earlier it was expected that the severity of the hurricane would be felt by Barbados, but last moment it's had a bit of a change in the route and it's gone next to Barbados. The worst is expected for islands like St. Vincent, like Grenada. They're going to be in the eye of the storm. Tobago too. So they might really feel the fury of this hurricane that it is. But Barbados in that sense has been spared. So if you're worried about the Indian team, they are safe or holed up inside their hotel rooms. Earlier we were expecting, if the storm intensity was very high, even they would have shut down the main power grid in Barbados, but that's not happened. Currently there is mobile signal available. Currently there is electricity here. And the Indian team, which was earlier supposed to fly via US, by a commercial flight, now special arrangements are being made by the BCCI. So effectively there will be a chartered plane that is going to land here in Barbados, and that will take the Indian team directly to New Delhi. So those are the arrangements that the BCCI have made for the Indian team. But when will they depart from here? That's not known, because the chartered plane has to first come into Barbados and then take the team out. But for that, the airport needs to open, the airspace needs to be safe. This hurricane is going to last, I mean, it's going over the Caribbean islands, but by the time it reaches Mexico, it's going to be Friday. So it's going to be there for the next few days. Barbados may get all clear in the next 24 to 48 hours, and that's when you can see flights come, maybe a chartered flight come, and then the Indian team will be heading back. So that's the latest that we can report right now from Barbados. You could see how it's intensified, the waves and the wind as well. There's of course a bit of rain around. That rain will also get more intensified as we are being told. Right now, everyone's advised, if I can show you the city, this is actually a main road with very heavy traffic, but all that has come to a standstill for the last I beg your pardon, for the last 12 hours. It's a complete shutdown here in Barbados. Nikhil Naz from Barbados for India Today.
All right, and joining me live now on this broadcast is Nikhil Naz, our sports editor, who's been getting you all the action from the T20 World Cup, and now a weather report as well. Nikhil, we just played out your report from Barbados. From the time you filed it to now, has the situation changed? Because we're all keeping our fingers crossed for some good news. We're waiting, of course, impatiently for our heroes to return home.
Well, anything, Akshita, at the moment, it's actually intensified from that last report that I sent across about an hour ago. In fact, at that moment, I could walk across to the beach and film that. Now we've been advised to stay indoors, which is why, I'm having to come live from right outside my hotel room. Just moments ago, the tin roof of the porch of our hotel actually came off because of those gushing winds that we are seeing at the moment. So the wind is not constant. You will have bursts of very high breeze and wind coming through, and then you'll have periods of quiet for a few seconds. So it's shuttling between that at the moment. What we are being told, it's about 9 a.m. now in the morning here. What we are being told that because the hurricane hasn't really come on the island as such, it's actually kissed the island and is going past as we speak, and it's going to take about 3-4 hours for it to move further into St. Vincent as well as Grenada. What we are being told is that probably post 12, things might just open up. As of now, the water supply has been cut. There is no water. We do have power, but the power has been, coming and going. They have a power backup here in the hotel. Luckily for us, and that's how I've been able to come live, there is still Wi-Fi connection as well as data connection available. Though last night we were told by the hotel authorities that be prepared. There is a possibility you may have no connectivity either on mobile data or Wi-Fi. The Indian team hotel is not too far away. In fact, it's just down the road, just about a 5-minute walk from here. But right now, because you cannot communicate, but it's going to be a similar situation that is going to be witnessed there. I know I went to the hotel last evening before we were asked to stay indoors, and each player was advised to be in their room. In fact, all the restaurants within the property were shut down, and they were told that you will not even get room service. So you have to stock up on a lot of things. But the good news is that they're saying post 12 noon, things might open up. Then they'll try and clear the airport. So nothing before the next 24 hours can you really see the charter plane come in and then take the Indian team. So I think for another day, they'll have to be on this island.
Okay, so 24 more hours that they're going to be stranded on that island, but after that, they'll be exiting. And Nikhil, I just wanted to ask you quickly, any details about really what the plans are for a grand homecoming, for a welcome back for Team India that's being planned?
Well, not yet. In fact, the media did meet the BCCI Secretary Jay Shah. He's also here. In fact, they are the ones who are organizing the charter flight out of Barbados for the Indian team. Remember earlier, they were booked on an Emirates flight to fly from here to New York, and then from New York back to their respective cities. But right now, when we spoke to him and asked him if any celebrations planned, they said, listen, this is still, I think what they're concentrating right now is to arrange for that flight to take the Indian team to Delhi. But of course, we believe they're going to Delhi directly because they're in all likelihood going to be meeting the Prime Minister there. We spoke about whether there will be an open bus parade? Because we've seen it in the past when they won the T20 World Cup 2007. There was indeed an open bus parade, but there's no clarity as such. But I think those things are being looked at as we speak.
I think whatever said and done, it is going to be a huge, grand welcome back for our heroes whenever that happens, hopefully in 24 hours from us. Nikhil, just reliving really some of those moments of the T20 World Cup victory. Hardik Pandya and those images of him breaking down, crying, really, I think, got the whole nation emotional as well. How do you rate his comeback? It spoke volumes of how much it meant to him, the way he got so emotional.
Well, Akshita, I think he's been one of the heroes of this World Cup triumph. And you're right, that entire journey, which got even worse. One was his personal cricketing journey, which went through a lot of ups and downs because of the injuries that he had to endure. But more than that was what was happening on the sidelines during the IPL. He was brought in by the Mumbai Indians as captain, replacing Mumbai Indians' most favourite son in Rohit Sharma as captain. That did not go down well with the Mumbai Indians faithful. In fact, the entire nation, because that's how much, they love Rohit Sharma, the cricketer, and the captain. And as soon as he replaced him, whichever ground he went to in India while playing the IPL, he was booed. It wasn't easy. He spoke about it as well. There were plenty of times where you had other cricketers actually telling the crowds to go easy on him. So the crowds were really after him. You heard it at every stadium that he went to. More than that, his own performances, nosedive. He was the captain. The team wasn't doing well under him. Now, this is Mumbai Indians, the most successful franchise. That wasn't doing well. So as captain, he wasn't being successful. Then as an all-rounder, neither with the bat nor with the ball. So he had an IPL to forget. From there on, the Indian team kept faith in him. The captain in Rohit Sharma and the coach in Rahul Dravid kept faith in him, brought him here in that situation. But I think the biggest credit has to go to Hardik himself. No matter how big a personality you are or how big a player you are, self-doubt does tend to creep in when you're being criticized, when the performances aren't coming. But I think it's his inherent nature to carry a lot of confidence. Sometimes people think that, that's overconfidence, but I think that belief in himself is what carried him through. Because while the entire world doubted him, he himself thought and knew very well that he can be a game changer, he can be a match winner. And I think that belief carried him throughout this World Cup. Whether it be with the bat, he had some outstanding knocks, very crucial knocks in crunch situation, or whether it was with the ball. I mean, the final is probably the perfect example where he bowled that final over, and even before that, some very crucial overs. So, it's the perfect story, that arc, if you look at it, the perfect redemption story, if you had to look at it in this World Cup, was, of course, Hardik Pandya's.
And what about the road ahead, Nikhil? Prior to Rohit, Hardik was the man in charge of the T20 international team for a few series. Is it safe to say he'll be the next captain of India in white ball formats at least?
You would, if you had to hedge a bet, yes, you would say Hardik Pandya. He was, of course, also retained as vice captain by the BCCI. So that in itself tells you that probably, yes, they're looking at a succession line. He could be the one. And remember, after the disastrous exit of the Indian team in the last T20 World Cup, you swapped captains and gave Hardik the charge of the Indian T20 team. So he seems to be the captain in waiting at the moment, now that Rohit Sharma has announced. But there is also another contender that's emerged, and that is Shubman Gill. Because remember, right after this World Cup, the Indian team is heading to Zimbabwe to play a T20I series. And Shubman Gill, who's also doing very well in all three formats, was captaining an IPL side, is captaining that Indian team to Zimbabwe. But yeah, if you had to really ask me to pinpoint one person who is the hot contender, who's the leading favourite to take on the captaincy of the Indian T20 side, I'd have to say it is Hardik Pandya. And he has shown great results as captain. Let's not forget that in his first season as captain in the IPL, he took the Gujarat team to the title. The next season took that same team, not made up of too many superstars, to the final of the IPL. Did not have a great IPL, but even with the Indian team, that 10-month period where he was captaining when Rohit Sharma wasn't playing T20 cricket, the Indian team did have some very good results. So I think there is enough sample size to visit, to consider while appointing the next captain, and I think Hardik Pandya is the hot favourite.
Okay, Nikhil, we've spoken of Hardik Pandya, his comeback, his amazing story in the T20 World Cup. I just want to put the focus on other big star performers for Team India. Axar Patel, for example, what do you make of his growth as an all-rounder?
Well, Akshita, I'll tell you what, I don't think too many people were convinced when the Indian team started this campaign playing two left-arm spinners in Ravindra Jadeja, Axar Patel. There were murmurs within Indian cricketing circles that Axar Patel had reached a stage where he could actually be played in the 11 ahead of Ravindra Jadeja. But would the Indian team be ready to risk that? Would they be ready to bench someone as big a match winner in Ravindra Jadeja, as senior a player in Ravindra Jadeja? Probably not. So that left the Indian team with a very tough call to make. Either to not have Axar Patel in the 11 for the sake of having a senior pro in Ravindra Jadeja, or to play both Axar and Jadeja together. And they went with the latter, which at that time did seem like a decision that wasn't really smart, because many said that that would make the Indian attack one dimension. But both the left-arm spinners did very well, but Hardik actually outshone someone like Ravindra Jadeja, who is the senior pro. He had a very, very good World Cup, not only with the ball, but with the bat more importantly. The final was the perfect example, and it's not just the final. You look at a few other games when he came in at number 6, number 7, and got you those crucial 12 runs, the crucial 15 runs, at a 200 strike rate, which then proved to be the difference between winning and losing. And then look at the final, the biggest stage of them all. The Indian team are struggling at 35 for 3, and you think now they're going to be sending an experienced batter like Hardik Pandya to ensure that there are no more hiccups in the Indian batting. But guess what do? They send in Axar Patel, and he plays an innings to remember. While Virat Kohli is consolidating from one end, he chooses to be the aggressor while also playing sensible cricket. Those 47 are worth their weight in gold, the one that Axar Patel got in the final. And if you follow the IPL, you would have known, and you wouldn't have been surprised with this kind of a performance from Axar Patel, because the signs were there. He plays for the Delhi team in the IPL, and quite often the Delhi team in the last 2-3 years have sent him up the order at number 4, at number 5 when the situation is demanded, and he's come up with the goods. And I think that is something that the Indian team management considered. That is something Rohit Sharma considered. Sent him at number 4, a master stroke, I must say, in the final, and he came good for the team.
Very true. So many decisions that proved to be right for Team India in the finals, the semi-finals, and in all of the games, really. Nikhil, thanks very much for joining us. We're going to let you go because I can see that the storm is picking pace there. Stay safe out there, Nikhil. And we will, of course, keep coming across to you for those updates on when Team India will be flying out of Barbados, because there's a grand welcome awaiting them back home in India. They're going to be heading out in the next 24 hours or so, is what Nikhil is telling us. So here on India Today, we'll get you all of those updates as we continue to relive some of the beautiful moments that we witnessed in the T20 World Cup final. So many happy memories. We will ensure, of course, that when the men in blue touch down in India, it's a hurricane of love that greets them. Thanks very much for tuning in to this India Today special broadcast. That's all we have time for.